Welcome to Eastern Dine. My name is Gabby and I'm a food employee here. I am in charge of the cooking.
Hey, my name's Claire and I'm also in charge in cooking the food items.
Hi, my name is Sean and I prepare cooked food for the customers.
Hello, my name is Marvin. I handle the preparation of the ingredients here at Eastern Dine.
We are all involved in the food preparation here at Eastern Dine. Notice how we all look clean and proper? Let me ask you why. You're right. It's because we practice proper personal hygiene. But first, let's go to the kitchen and there we'll tell you what personal hygiene is and the importance of it in the food industry.
What is personal hygiene? Personal hygiene involves properly caring for your body by keeping it clean. It is applied anywhere, especially when you are handling food in the kitchen to minimize the risk of food contamination. There are hygiene rules for food safety in the kitchen known as the 4 C's: cross-contamination, cooking, cleaning, and chilling. Cross-contamination occurs when germs are accidentally passed onto foods either from cooking utensils or other foods, so it is a must that you wash your hands before and after handling foods.
Personal hygiene is very important. It can boost your self-confidence, work, and move comfortably with no worries if you do it properly. It can build good reputation for yourselves and for the place you work for. Not only that, but it also reduces the percentage of spreading illnesses. The World Health Organization said that an estimated of 600 million people fall ill after eating contaminated food. That's roughly 1 in 10 people. And 420,000 people die every year. Imagine you could deeply harm somebody just because of your poor personal hygiene.
If you are going to be a food handler in the future, you should know the proper basic of personal hygiene. Let's start, shall we?
The first personal hygiene that you need to know is the proper hand washing. It's one of the most important things you can do to prevent food poisoning. Always wash your hands after using the restroom, sneezing or coughing, touching your face or hair, after smoking, using chemicals or cleaners, taking out garbage, or after eating, and anytime may be contaminated. So, here is how you do the proper hand washing. First thing you need to do is to wet your hands and arms using running water as hot as you can comfortably stand. Next, apply soap. Make sure you applied enough to build up a good lather. Now, scrub your hands vigorously. Scrub them for 10 to 15 seconds. And make sure you clean under those fingernails and between your fingers. Once you finish scrubbing, rinse the soap off using warm hot water for at least 20 seconds. To finish up, dry your hands and arms with a single-use paper towel or hand dryer. Consider using a paper towel to turn off the faucet and while opening the restroom door to ensure that your hands are still clean.
The second personal hygiene that you need to know is proper hand care. You might not care about your hands in your normal life, but it's a very important factor in the food industry. You need to take care of your hands since it's being used a lot in the food preparation. So here are the steps on how to do the proper hand care. The first thing to do is to keep your fingernails short. Long fingernails are hard to keep clean and can carry pathogens or the microorganisms that could give us foodborne illnesses. They can also chip and become physical contaminants. Fingernails should be kept trimmed and filed. It can also tear the gloves that you're going to use while preparing food. Remember, the longer the fingernails are, the harder they are cleaned. Second thing is, you should not wear nail polish. They can be hard to keep clean just like the normal fingernails, and it is possible that it will break off into food. It can disguise dirt under nails since we can't see if it's dirty, and can possibly flake off into food. It is the same thing with using fake nails. Some local regulatory authorities allow polished nails and false fingernails if single-use gloves are worn. However, it's best to just keep your nails clean, short, and tidy. Lastly, there are also circumstances where you'll have wounds near your arms or hands. You need to completely cover it with a bandage or an impermeable cover depending on the placement of your wound to avoid food contamination.
The third one that you'll need to know is the proper usage of gloves. Knowing the proper usage of gloves is important as it reduces the risk of contaminating the food. Gloves can also be used to minimize the bare hand contact of food. However, there are also risks of using hand gloves, especially when it is worn incorrectly. Single-use gloves are just made for single use. The longer gloves are worn, the more likely their effectiveness as a barrier will deteriorate. Employees should ideally replace their gloves every 2 hours at minimum to guard against possible unseen punctures. Always change gloves if the gloves are ripped, torn, contaminated, or if you are changing to a different food task. An employee is allowed to not wear gloves when washing fruits and vegetables, but not ready to eat foods. In other words, if the food is going to be consumed without any further cooking or preparation, you cannot touch it with your bare hands. This is probably the most important part, and many people skip this process and think that gloves are protection, and just because you are wearing gloves doesn't mean it's safe. You still need to wash your hands before and after you put gloves on.
Lastly, wearing the proper attire. Proper attire is a requirement when working. It will serve as a uniform to know who or what to call an employee or staff. You can always see this whenever we eat at a restaurant. These are steps to become a presentable employee. For that, you must do the following. First thing is to take a bath before going to work, to make sure your body is clean. Second is to follow the prescribed attire. Now this is very important because dirty clothes carry pathogen that can be transferred into the food you're handling. To be a good employee, you must take care of your uniform. It has to be clean every time you go to work. Wearing clean clothes will lessen the chance of spreading illness. So let's set the following as our example of proper attire.
The proper attire consists of wearing slacks, non-slippery shoes, hat or other hair restraint, face mask, white t-shirt.
It is very important to remove all hand jewelry before handling or preparing. Lastly is to remove your apron whenever you leave the preparation area. Let's try our best to do all this to be a good role models for those who are not aware of their own personal hygiene and proper attire.
That was all the 4 basics of personal hygiene that you need to know if you're planning to be a food employee in the future. Especially with the current pandemic, keeping yourself clean and sanitized is the way to go. Thank you for listening and have a good day.